Hey everybody, I'm back and I've made some really good progress, but I've spotted a flaw. There's a problem, and let's see if we can get to the root of the problem and how can we overcome this problem. Here's a hint, we're going to use Jinja 2. Alright, so let's take a look here. So I have a lot of new information and I just finished the vertical time stamping information. So what I've done is on the vertical plane here, I should put a plane in so that you can see it, but let me temporarily put a plane in. I have to work on the plane scaling, so let's just go to the collection and add a plane real quick. So we're going to go Shift A, plane, scale it, and then scale it, and then we'll just scale it on X, and then we'll just move it over on X. Alright, so this will just give us a better when we're looking at the time stuff here. So let's take that off. And I don't have any, yeah, where's my floor lighting? I should have floor lighting. Is it because my plane is above the floor? No, the floor lighting's sort of obscured, I think, by the plane. So let me, let me move this down there. And yeah, there we go. Now our lighting is not hidden by the plane. So I have some floor lighting, and underneath the skull, right, on the vertical X, I've got the timestamp, first published, last updated, published URL, and some advisory URLs. We have to kind of go below the skull. Yeah. Anyway, from this view here, we have the, I'm going to need much more lighting, that's for sure. But I have the common vulnerability and the URLs here. But if we pay attention, if I scroll down to this third skull, the white skull, well, it's not working. If I look here, see how it has none up top for a timestamp? And it has this timestamp here in the middle where it shouldn't be. Like, what's going on here? Why is that rendering incorrectly? Well, remember, this is just taking it from the array and the JavaScript object notation. So we're going to leave the world of Blender for a minute here. And if I put that on, and so, right, like I have a timestamps here instead of the published URL, right? So it's only this third one that's different, and I've been struggling with this a little bit. Let's look at the template. So this is the information that we get, and if we look, right, lines 3 to 23, so it's 20 lines. 26 to 46, 20 lines. 49 to 66. That should go 49 to 49. So our indexes are all being thrown off. So if we look, and you got to really kind of groom over it here, it looks like, and maybe this is my mistake. Well, no, you see platform here for the fixed. I have a platform here. So it's missing the second platform, it looks like, that comes after the fixed iOS. Right? So there should be a platform and a vulnerability. You see, we have, I see. So what we're doing here, maybe it's actually my logic where I'm doing a loop here, right? And it's affecting the platforms, but this one is only affected on the 9,000. Right? So what we're missing is the extra little stuff here. So we're going to have to template this a little bit differently and adjust our for loop so that we don't create multiple versions of these. Right? That's the mistake. So let's jump into the Jinja 2 template and see how we can fix this. And so this is what we have right now. And here is the for loop that is causing our problem. And then for fix in each, right? We're having these fixes, and then there's the end for the fixes, and the end for the outer tab. So instead of doing it this way, Um, hmm. I guess what we need to do instead is put the for loop here and maybe comma separate the platforms. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at that. So that's where I'm at right now is I have to resolve this templating issue and then I'll come back to finish off the remainder of the report. I just wanted to check in that it's not quite perfect logic yet and I have to fix my templating. Okay, I'll be back soon with the fix. All right, let's take a look at our adjusted Jinja. So for the platform, I've moved the loop inside of the quotation mark for the value. I've just dropped this down a line for your benefit here, but we can see there's the platform name, and I track the loop, and then I just say if it's the last loop, don't put any comma, otherwise put a comma, and then finish off the quotation mark. Okay, so let's collapse platform. I've done the same for vulnerability state, for each of those platforms. And now this should normalize the JSON. So I've already run it through, and this is what it looks like now, where we can see we have, right, I have the platform and vulnerability here listed inside of the same quotations. So looking at this a little more, what we might want to do is instead of having this vulnerability state vulnerable, what we could do is combine it and have, the platform and then space vulnerable, or, well, we can just leave it like this for now because we're going to put these together and spread them apart. So that's how I've decided to deal with it. Now let's hop back into the world of Blender, and as you can see, even from this glance here, you can tell that it's been fixed. But if I go to that problematic third entry that only has the one platform, everything's been normalized, and we have our timestamps now and our URLs. So that's just been fixed in the JavaScript. Now, while I have you here, I've put the timestamps in the URL info. The URLs are pretty long, so I thought this would make a good, floor. And this big square is some floor lighting that is bottom lit. So it lights up underneath. If we look on that plane, if I can get there, you can actually see that the lighting system is underneath the text, right? They're up and down a little bit. And then, so now what I'd like to do, I'm going to swing it this way. Now on this axis, I was thinking behind the skulls here, right, in line, we could make, I'm going to draw a square, text here. So we sort of have the bottom and the left facing the skull. We can put some text, again, here, facing backwards. We can put it all over the place. We could even put a backdrop of text behind the skull. But for now, I have this information that's left to plot. And I was thinking maybe off to the left and behind, or in the center here, like a square there of text, we could place possibly the maybe this information, the bug IDs, the CVE, the weakness enumeration. I see I have weakness enumeration twice in here. Let me make sure I don't do that. So, and I didn't do that twice in here, did I? No. Okay. So let's plot. We have 3, 7, 10 more pieces of data to fit in that I've kind of grouped together logically that might make sense putting it together. So let's go ahead and start working on this side axis. I'll be back once I've made a little progress, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.